Welcome to Gold Trails and Ghost Towns. I'm Mike Roberts with Bill Barley, our resident guide, author, former educator. Well, you're still educating me about all sorts of things. Where are we going today, for example? I'm the student.
Mike, we're going into, I think, one of the most fascinating corners of southeastern British Columbia. And this is the Wild Horse. Even the name is kind of attractive.
Yeah.
Because it's an old area. It's been populated by the whites for 125 years, a little more. And it's kind of a forgotten corner. You know,
is it near anything we could recognize today?
Yeah, it's kind of northeast of Cranbrook and east of a place called Fort Steele.
So somehow it's not readily known to us today. It must have dropped out of sight.
Out of the hundreds of thousands of people who have gone into Fort Steele, not 0.5% have gone the extra 7 miles into the Wild Horse. And this is what we're going to do today.
Okay. Mike Roberts with Bill Barley going to visit southeastern British Columbia today in an area you called Wild Horse.
Yeah, it was originally called Stud Horse, Mike, and then they changed the name to more decorous Wild Horse. Stud Horse Creek, then Wild Horse Creek. And you know, it came into being, and you can see this shot here. This is how the first miners probably would have seen it without the bridge, of course. You're looking at Fisher Peak in the background. That's the Rockies, and you're heading up into an unknown creek. The year is 1863, and a party of American miners was coming by, and they saw a stud horse up there. Decided to investigate this creek on their way up the Kootenai, and stopped up, found that the creek was spectacularly rich, which was unusual because ordinarily the creeks flowing west out of the Rockies or east out of the Rockies are not good for placer gold men. But this was the exception that proved the rule. And so these guys went up there and they began discovering nuggets that were really they were spectacular in size. Some of these nuggets were a pound. The largest nugget discovered on the creek was 3 pounds troy. And the result was that the American miners began flooding into the area from the south. And making a quick hit on Wild Horse, and nobody knows exactly how much came out of Wild Horse. The figures range from several millions up to 50 million. And this was at $20.67 a pure ounce.
What else is happening right about now? Barkerville was at 58. Were these guys sort of en route there? And got
actually, Barkerville is about 61. The rush started in the lower Fraser.
These guys were heading in that direction?
No, they weren't. They were just heading up into the northern British territories as they knew them. And they probably would have gone to Barkerville, but they didn't move out of Wild Horse.
Why when estimates of up to 50 million in that area?
And you know, the gold was coarse. It was close to the surface. It was in a distance of about 2.5 miles. Most of the gold then seemed to cut right off. So there was one major tributary, which was Boulder Creek, which was also extremely rich.
So here we are talking, what, 10 miles from where Cranbrook is today? 10 miles north?
Yeah, approximately 7 or 8 miles. You could go as far as 10.
Yeah.
And of course it was a wild area. You're moving up in altitude there. You're getting back into the real wilds of the Rockies. And even today it has kind of that feeling, you know.
As I understand it, there became conflict almost right as soon as the white prospectors came in with the Indians of the area, the Kootenai Indians.
Yeah, what happened is there was an early murder of 2 miners, and the white miners in Wild Horse blamed it on the Indians. This shows a shot of the Indians pretty close to the time. This is Chief Isidore and the Kootenai Indians, and they're a very proud group of Indians, and they said they didn't do it. And I believe the Indians. They did not do it. It was a bushwhacking, and I think it was done by other miners because there were a bunch of renegades in that area, a bunch of American miners who drifted in with these gold camps looking for easy pickings. But what the result was that the Northwest Mounted Police came into Fort Steele in 1884. That was much later than the original rush started, under the famous Sam Steele.
So he may not have had any real work to do, that the murder and stuff not being the trouble of the Kootenays, the Kootenai Indians cause, so maybe he didn't bring peace to the area. It was the figurehead.
Well, yes, that's true. He didn't have to. They didn't put a stick of a palisade up or a blockhouse or anything in there. They simply kept the law, and 4 years later.
All right. Well, we made it up to Fisherville. And one of the ways you know you're in Fisherville is you get to the old Fisherville cemetery. Wild Horse Creek Cemetery. And pretty cool. This ground is a portion of the original burying ground of the pioneer Wild Horse Creek miners. The grave railings are the originals, dating from 1863 approximately. Please help preserve the cemetery, rehabilitated by voluntary citizens. 1953. Be careful with fire. So this place has gotten a little bit of paint here since I've been here last. And unfortunately, these grave markers are lacking in the information. Now, I think the first time I came here, there were the original ones. Pretty sure there were some names and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of spooky, guys. It's almost dark. It's dusk. It's very quiet. And oy, oy, oy.
Nestled in the rugged landscape of British Columbia's East Kootenay region lie Wild Horse Creek and the nearby town of Fisherville. These two places, forever linked by history and geography, offer a captivating glimpse into the province's past. Their stories are interwoven with tales of gold, ambition, resilience, and the enduring spirit of the Kootenay people. Wild Horse Creek, a tributary of the Kootenay River, first gained notoriety for its rich gold deposits. These deposits sparked a frenzy of activity in the mid-19th century, forever changing the course of the region. Fisherville, strategically located near the creek's confluence, emerged as a bustling hub for the hopeful prospectors. The history of Wild Horse Creek and Fisherville is not merely a local narrative. It is a microcosm of the broader story of settlement, resource extraction, and development that shaped Western Canada. These communities, once at the heart of a gold rush, have navigated the boom and bust cycles with remarkable adaptability. Today, they stand as testaments to the enduring legacy of the gold rush era and the enduring spirit of the Kootenays. The following sections delve into the rich tapestry of Wild Horse Creek and Fisherville's past, tracing their evolution from remote outposts to integral parts of British Columbia's heritage. Their story is a testament to the enduring human spirit, the transformative power of resource discovery, and the enduring allure of the gold rush dream. Before the thunder of hooves and the clang of pickaxes, the land around Wild Horse Creek knew a different rhythm. The Tonahah people, indigenous to the region, lived in harmony with the land for generations. They fished the rivers, hunted in the forests, and followed the rhythms of nature. Theirs was a deep connection to the land, a connection that predated the arrival of Europeans by centuries. The first Europeans to lay eyes on the East Kootenay were likely fur traders, pushing westward in search of pelts. They came seeking wealth, but their impact on the land was minimal. They moved through the valleys and over the passes, leaving few traces of their presence. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 changed everything. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a fever for gold that would soon reach the remote corners of British Columbia. Prospectors, eager to strike it rich, began to fan out across the continent, searching for the next big find. The East Kootenay, with its rugged mountains and hidden valleys, seemed ripe for exploration. Little did anyone know that a small creek, soon to be known as Wild Horse, held secrets that would transform the region forever. The arrival of gold-hungry prospectors would mark the beginning of a new chapter for Wild Horse Creek and the surrounding area, one filled with both promise and peril.
The year was 1864. The news crackled through the mining camps and settlements of the West Gold, and not just a smattering of color, but rich, thick veins of the precious metal. The discovery, made on a tributary of the Kootenay River, would forever alter the destiny of the region. That tributary, soon christened Wild Horse Creek for the wild horses said to roam its banks, became a beacon for fortune seekers. Miners, driven by dreams of riches and fueled by rumors of nuggets the size of walnuts, flooded into the East Kootenay. They came from the exhausted diggings of California, from the boom towns of the Caribou, and from distant lands across the ocean. The lure of gold transcended borders and languages, uniting a motley crew of prospectors under a shared banner of hope and greed. The early days on Wild Horse Creek were a scene of chaotic energy. Men toiled day and night, panning, sluicing, and digging into the creek bed. Claims were staked, fortunes were won and lost, and the roar of the river was drowned out by the din of human activity. The once peaceful valley echoed with the sounds of progress and the clamor of ambition. Word of the Wild Horse Creek strike spread quickly, attracting not only miners but also merchants, saloon keepers, and all manner of entrepreneurs hoping to capitalize on the boom. A tent city sprang up, a temporary metropolis fueled by gold dust and whiskey. Among these hastily erected structures, a more permanent settlement began to take shape, a town that would come to be known as Fisherville.
More metal? That's where they must have been shooting those water monitors right up here. I guess they must have kept going until there was nothing left and they just decided they had enough of it and left, so I'll have to assume that there's anything left in here. There probably is. Yeah. Is there? Oh, okay. That must have been the way they got down to the creek, because the town site's up here as far as I can see. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely an old stove. Wood burner slash cooking stove oven. Cool. Is that the chimney? Oh, it's a bit big for a chimney. Probably smokestack. It's riveted. It's pretty thick. I don't think it's monitor piping though. Seems a bit thin for that.